guys, so yeah, there is a content warning for this video in particular because yeah, it's a very, very serious video, all things considered. And I'm trying to make sure that the background footage is appropriate for YouTube. And honestly, I really don't want to go around cherry picking what is or isn't in this video, but YouTube has new rules and regulations, and they're kinda silly. Especially towards video games. Like, we have age ratings for a reason, Google! Immediately wanting to get your ass whooped by Trump again. Which is actually funny, because, the Antifa crowd, they can say whatever they want about fascism and cruelty towards queer people, but, the second they decide to go by Virginia Davis's playbook in regards to, Muslim communities. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I have a best friend who's Muslim, after all. And he voices the main character of Cat of Curiosity. So, I'm rolling the clip.
Morning, Colin.
Oh, morning, Ash. Want some cereal?
Virgin cereal? No thanks. It's made by Virgin Media. I mean, how can Virgin Media make its own cereal brand? That doesn't even make any sense.
Cartoon logic.
Oh, crap. I love it. Wait, Virgin Media made a cereal brand? How the fudge did they do that? Cartoon logic. Yeah, well, cartoon logic also dictates that if they do make a cereal brand, you're gonna get lead poisoning from them. Now that's an whole thing in the entire pilot. You should definitely watch the pilot. Go check it out. Anyway, but on a more serious note, I like my buddy Zen. He's an upstanding Muslim citizen here in the UK. Unfortunately, there are some Islamist ne'er-do-wells trying to LARP as Muslims here in the UK, and they get into this country scot-free, and they do some really not great things, to be polite about it. In fact, I did a quick Google search in regards to the Grooming Gang inquiry, and here's an AI overview of the current status as of November this year. God, it's November already. I need to sort out my carrots. Anyway, let's just sort this out first. Here are 3 points I'd like to point out, specifically out of the AI overview. Turmoil and delays. The inquiry is in disarray. All candidates for the independent chair position, including former police officer Jim Gamble and former social worker Annie Hudson, have withdrawn due to political point scoring and a toxic environment. Damn. Victim-survivor resignations. Multiple abuse survivors have... I almost jumbled up there. Hang on. Multiple abuse survivors have resigned from the inquiry's victims and survivors liaison panel, citing a lack of trust, concerns over the background of potential chairs who came from institutions that previously failed victims, and accusations that the inquiry scope was being diluted or watered down. And finally, search for a new chair. The government is actively searching for a new independent chair, a process expected to take months. You know how Aston Villa and Tel Aviv were supposed to be doing the match in Birmingham? Yeah, well, turns out a lot of us was a lot of us were right about Tel Aviv fans not being the problem.
So, first things first, guys. We've got the pro-Palestine mob, all the Islamists chanting for hours in Birmingham. Villa fans, we know you support Palestine. They absolutely don't. Remember, most football fans are patriotic, and the Aston Villa fans who are actually attending the game emerged and started shouting, "Oh, Tommy, Tommy Robinson." And as you can see, the Islamists are absolutely furious because they think that they're on their side. No one's on their side whatsoever. Look, they're going to a game. There's no football flags there from these Islamists. They're politicizing it and simply flying other countries' flags outside a English football stadium and trying to say that Aston Villa fans are on their side. They're not. This is what the Aston Villa fans think.
Now, I want to emphasize that I got that clip from the British Stand YouTube channel. I highly recommend checking it out. Unfortunately, I was focusing on providing a link to Sunny's channel in the description, so feel free to just search British Stand and you'll find videos. But yeah, let me make myself perfectly clear on this situation. I 100%, 10 times over, do not believe that Islamists are Muslims. If anything, they LARP as Muslims so they can make people racist towards Muslims so they can carry on being anti-Semitic and attack people of Christian faith as well as the Jews. Like a certain Austrian painter. But as you probably know, I did see the video, and as a upstanding citizen who wants the best for both the Jewish and Muslim communities in this country, I did voice my concerns about this because, yeah, this whole thing did terrify me. I mean, that video's titled, "This Would Probably Terrify You," and to be fair, it did. Well, it's terrifying to me, at least. So, yeah. I'm using this sprite of Morgana from Persona 5 as an example. Anyway, here's what I said in the comment section of that said video. I'm calling it now. The British Muslims will believe that they need to do an ethnic cleansing of pro-Hamas terrorists in this country. I can see it now. Also, it gets worse because if you're planning on going to the Christmas market, there's apparently some Islamic State sleeper agents knocking about wanting to hurt people for celebrating the birthday of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ himself, because apparently he's not in the Quran, so it's okay to question him. But pretty sure Jesus is just as much as a prophet as Muhammad, and he's in the Quran. Funny how these people who LARP as Muslims want Sharia law and tell normal people who don't want violence in their own home and country, if you question the Quran, we're gonna make sure your game is done. You are gonna be dead. And yet, they question the Quran. Insert one relatable line from my favorite Final Fantasy character here. Sorry, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to celebrate the holidays with my family. And I think you should do the same too. But if you're going to Christmas markets, just keep your head on a swivel. And learn how to defend yourself that doesn't involve violence or pepper spray. Because clearly the cops will want to say, you can't use pepper spray, that's illegal. You know what should be illegal? Islamists LARPing as Muslims. Fair, I said it. I do not care. I do not care. I do not see them as Muslims anyway. They are not. They are Islamists. Clear difference. I'm done. I'm sorry. Know the difference. It could save your freaking life. But yeah. Link to my buddy's YouTube channel will be in the description. He makes good content. He also does music. Anyways, I'm not gonna do my usual ending thing because I want to focus on more gameplay videos for Digimon World 3 because good news! We are still doing the series. Bad news is the emulator noticed that I forgot to frickin' save and it just deleted everything. Fun. Anyway, I'm gonna piss off now. Bye.